Welcome back to This American Ride podcast, where we talk about issues that affect you, the average American. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is George. Last week, you heard part one of our interview with Mark, a 22-year retired Marine who served multiple tours in Iraq, re-enlisted after 9/11, and we talked about his service to his country in that first episode. This next episode gets into his entrepreneurship and his drive and his passion to follow his American dream and open up his own business. This is a great one.
All over the place. Why in the hell are you back here in Jersey?
I know why.
And this is your opportunity to throw your wife under the bus. Go for it, man.
She may
Kick her right under the bus. She don't even know what this channel's called. No clue.
Somehow somebody will share this podcast with her. And she'll
But you didn't want to come back here.
No.
So she's got family and stuff up here.
When I left New Jersey, I was done with New Jersey.
That like hurts right here.
I know it does, but
it doesn't hurt me. I get it.
I just wish.
I get it too, because I don't want to be here.
I just wish New Jersey was better. We'll just leave it at that.
It's
I wish you had better weather. I wish you had better politics. I wish you had better everything.
I understand being here for family, though, because, I mean, essentially...
I did not expect him to be as PC as he's being now.
I totally knew what we were getting.
I'm definitely walking on eggshells.
He talked all this trash to me about how he was going to move back to Jersey. He was going to get into politics. He was going to change the course of New Jersey politics. It
was a course of action.
I was like, cool, man, let's do it.
Course of action. I didn't say it was the course.
Now he comes back and he's like,
I understand being here for family, though. I get it. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're here. You're essentially here for family. Yeah.
Well,
yes, you are. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
I'm not leaving my wife.
Right.
I personally wanted to come back home to shovel snow. That's why I'm back.
That's why you're back. So you move back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Transition out.
I'm back.
And then.
And you got like you said, you got a kid in that time frame. He's in middle school, about to enter his high school years.
So now here
we are. Huge fan of the game of football. He wants to play that. You're doing all that stuff, and there was a little gap there that you weren't really doing anything. Freeloading off your wife.
There was a freeloading time. Yes,
it was a.
That goes back to what I said earlier about needing some decompression time.
Yeah.
So I got out. And literally, some of those men and women that have served for many, many years and some dealings can certainly understand that you need some time.
It's tough to just jump into some sort of job.
There's studies out there, and there's, a lot of writings and things out there that, people trying to get right back into it. Right after military life, there's supposed to be quite a bit of time for pause, just to kind of, decompress. And because, you got to understand that, like, we're 100 miles an hour, in the military. We get up, we're running and gunning from sun up to sundown, and to just be done and put the brakes on,
jump off the bus. I mean, it's stopped.
You're 100 mile an hour on Monday, and then Tuesday you retire, and then you're at 0 miles per hour. So it's like,
but before you moved back up here, there was a passion that was started.
Yeah.
Down south. So
probably started before then, but yeah, it came a little more to fruition. Yeah. Cause I had to figure out something.
So before we dive into what you're into now, how did you develop this desire and this passion for the barbecue game?
Well, it happened earlier on, I think in high school. To be honest, it wasn't so much barbecue as it was just, a love for food. What started off in high school, I think it was, Mickey Sauler's mom was the teacher back then, was the home ec teacher. I thought I was taking an elective to pick up chicks.
You took home ec?
Yes.
You're so full of shit. You did that on purpose.
I'm not teasing. So I picked up home ec because I figured, a good way to pick up chicks.
What are the odds?
Dude, we're in high school. I mean, come on. We're going to pick up chicks and home ec. Where do you pick up chicks?
The story's going way different.
So listen, I'll keep it quick. I won't try to bore the audience. So basically took home ec to pick up chicks, and half the class was full of dudes. Probably with the same
picking
idea.
Up chicks. So you were picking up dudes, and it's June Pride Month.
I'm like, this sucks. And then as the year progressed, kind of got into it. I was just like, this is some pretty cool shit. Making stuff from nothing. And kind of guess that's where the passion of making food came from. And then combined with hanging out on the weekends, testing my skills out with you guys, doing the weekend parties and stuff like that with the burgers and, some of the grilled food, the pool parties and shit like that. And, I think what kind of took over was that excitement from people saying how good the food was, which I knew they were lying. It was hot dogs and hamburgers. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, so good.
You used to pour some whatever beer you were drinking, Budweiser on top of the burger and act like,
you fucked it up. You got premature ejaculation.
I got excited.
So I used to pour Budweiser.
Using my recipe, and I'm like,
pour Budweiser and the accent from meat tenderizer on the burgers with Budweiser. And it would, oh my God, the smell that would come off the grill with those two ingredients on a burger were phenomenal. And throw it on the bone, some cheese, and people were like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread.
We were all drunk, by the way.
Yeah, you were.
Didn't matter.
And so many Zimas. So many Zimas.
Piece of coal.
Bert and Zimas.
So many Zimas.
So many Zimas.
That was my thing.
That was his thing. So that's kind of where it went. And then, over the years, I just kind of saw myself as like, when people come over hosting, just grill it up and doing things. And I assumed I was pretty good at it. Fast forward, get down, I'm stationed in North Carolina at the time, and I found a place where to get barbecue supplies. I went shopping and come to find out that they hold classes. And I was like, okay, let me take a couple of these classes. I was totally fucking it up. I mean, I learned so much from these classes. And
you realized the Budweiser over the barbecued frozen burger wasn't really doing it.
That recipe still may hold true, but it was the rest of the shit I was doing, like the brisket and the ribs and all the other shit that people were telling me were good. And then I found out later on that people were spitting it out, and only my true friends were telling me that, hey, Bert was really saying that the shit was rubbery and he was spitting the shit out.
Listen, man.
Anyway,
I love my friends.
That's kind of where it went. So I get down to North Carolina and I'm learning some new shit and fixing, because I truly enjoyed doing barbecue and wanted to, that reaction I was getting from people enjoying the food and loving the food was a high for me. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it's kind of spun. And I wanted to be better. And taking those classes down there at Grill Billy's Barbecue in Raleigh, North Carolina, New Jersey born owner there, Joe Pino, taught me well. A lot of class. I've taken every one of his classes, and they welcomed me with open arms. Great community. Giving classes every couple weeks, every couple months. On different things from ribs to briskets to, sides,
mm-hmm.
You name it. They give it out over there. But, and he's got a whole store full of rubs and sauces and, barbecue grills. I mean, it's a one-stop shop. And, after the first class, I felt at home. And even though it was a 45-minute drive from, where I was at on the East Coast of North Carolina, I was just compelled to just sign up and go. It didn't matter, because the community was great. The staff, the way they treated you, it was just a relaxed atmosphere and, just a great group of people to be around. And I learned a lot from them. And they got people they get Myra Mixon, some of the big names that come in there.
Mm-hmm.
Myra Mixon comes in there. They sell his grills out of there. Aaron Franklin from, Texas Barbecue.
I'm a big fan.
Aaron Franklin comes through there. He makes cameos. They sell his grills out of there. Some of the pit masters out of there. I think Heath Rowles, Mississippi. I think a Mississippi boy comes out. He's from Mississippi. Comes in there every now and again and does classes. So they get some big names in and out of there, pit master wise. KCBM tournaments and stuff. They do steak cook-offs, wings and different things down there, and just it was just a great atmosphere, great community to be a part of. From the time that I was there stationed in North Carolina, I took advantage of going out there and hanging out with them.
Nice.
So with what I learned from there, then kind of transitioned into my retirement, only because my Marines, I was cooking for them. Every time somebody would leave or we would get new joins, we would do a little celebration, send the Marines off, welcome the Marines in. And they would always come to my house. I would host them. I would do barbecues and just kind of test things out on the Marines. And when I retired, they always told me, you need to do this full time when you get out. So I tried it. Came home to New Jersey, tried it on my friends just to make sure. And the rest is history. Everybody was kind of like, yeah, this will pass the sniff test. Give it a go, see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's barbecue to me is a tough business. I have a job that has given me the opportunity to travel all over the country. So I've had my Tennessee, Memphis barbecue, my North Carolina barbecue, the Texas barbecue, and it's all, as you know, very, very, very different.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like unless you are from one of those areas or you've had a limited experience to have barbecue from a real good joint, you don't have the appreciation or don't understand what it is.
Right.
It's like me going to Nebraska making a cheesesteak. Like I could make a great cheesesteak in Nebraska. People go like, what the hell is this cheese sauce on here? You know what I mean? It's like people, they don't necessarily get it. And I think New Jersey, to bring good barbecue to New Jersey, because there's pockets of it here and there. There's a couple good places, here and there, but it's an art form. And I think people don't necessarily understand that.
For me, it's because of geographically where we're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think of New Jersey, New York, right? I mean, we're Italian. We got pizzerias on every corner stop.
Yes, we do.
There's Greek food, there's Chinese food, there's, a myriad of different cuisines. And how do you introduce barbecue, or what style of barbecue do you introduce? What will sell here? Right?
Yeah.
What's going to sell to the taste buds here? And that's kind of what my challenge was, and you're selling to the public. You can't make it too spicy, salty, too sweet, because, everybody's got different taste buds. So what I try to do is I try to just meet right down the middle, right? Try to bring a little bit of, the different geographical, styles, between, from Kansas City to Memphis to Mississippi to Carolina to Texas, bring it all, but not all at the same time, but maybe between all my meats, Yeah. You just bring it subtle, not so hard, so spicy with the rubs, or, introducing sauces. So I don't put any sauces on anything that I do. It's just rubs.
Huge misconception people have about barbecue.
Yeah. So just like Aaron Franklin says, if you got to put sauce on it, it's not barbecue. It should stand on its own.
I know. And I know the people in Memphis would argue that point, because they sauce them ribs up while they're spending those last.
And I totally understand. Listen, I have sauces, and I do not have them out on the counter. If you ask for them, I will give you some. And people are compelled to dip. There's people out there just raised on ketchup or mustard or mayonnaise, and feel that they need to dip. Doesn't matter what's in. Doesn't matter. They just got to dip it.
Let's be honest. The French fries and the tots are nothing but a vehicle for the ketchup, right? I mean, that's all they are.
So I try to, like I said, I try to, for my beef, I definitely lean more towards Texas style. Pork, I try to lean towards Carolina style. My chicken is just really kind of in the middle. I just salt, pepper, garlic, rub on there. But everything I do on my proteins is rub. I have a handful of sides, and everything is made from scratch. I make, I make it, and I smoke, and everything is made on the smoker.
Yeah. So coming out, I mean, I feel like it's so, and I told this to you multiple times, like when you're talking about starting up, I was like, now is the time. Like you just retired, like now is the time. Like do it now. Don't go out and get a job. Like do it now. And you did it. What was the biggest challenge about? I mean, you're transitioning out of the military. Yeah. You're taking some time to decompress, spend time with your family. What was the biggest challenge about starting up? If you had to have like getting into this business,
I would say taking that leap. And I think Bert alluded to it earlier when he was saying, you were home for a little while and, it kind of shaded out a little bit, but he was like, you were sitting around for a minute before you made any
freeloading is the term he used. Yeah.
Freeloading. Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Dude, you're freeloading. Your wife is paying your way. But, I just, a lot of it was not so much, because for me, challenges and just, having the, the energy or whatever the right term is for it, to go out and do things, the ambition was never, ever an issue for me. I've always been ambitious. I think for me, the pause was the military piece, getting out and having, being 100 miles an hour one day and then literally leaving the base with my son and hanging out in North Carolina before we made that transition back to Jersey was quiet. It was somber, somewhat disheartening, because I forget where the quote came from, but it's like, if you throw a pebble into a pond, it makes a ripple for a short moment in time. And that's kind of like a Marine or any service member's service when they retire. We all throw that pebble into the pond and it makes a ripple effect for a short time, but they all adjust to our leaving. And when we're gone, once that adjustment has happened, someone's filled our space and we're forgotten. And, for a short moment, there was a lot of, keeping in touch, people reaching out, checking in on me, but it very quickly dwindles and it fades.
Yeah.
Except for some of those relationships we spoke about earlier. And it makes you feel a little lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not only, in addition to the workload that you're used to having and not having none at all.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of weight on your shoulders. And then next thing you know, you're wandering around the house and you're like, you're fidgety. Like, what the fuck? You can't sleep, can't stay asleep. And then when you're awake, you can't find nothing to do.
It's purpose.
It's purpose.
Right? You've had purpose for so long.
Exactly right.
And then you transition into not necessarily not having a purpose, but not knowing your purpose.
Yeah. And for us, we moved back to Jersey and where we're at,
there's a lot of change.
Some of the listeners, like we're literally where we are in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3.5 acres and I'm literally in the dense pine barrens of New Jersey. And if you stand outside, doesn't matter what time of the day, it's quiet as shit.
Yeah.
It's just me and my dog, Joe, the blue heeler, walking around Tranquility Ridge.
Change is tough, man. No matter what you do in life or, military, non-military, whatever, like change in general is a difficult thing.
Yeah.
And doing something for so long and having that purpose and then it just being over because I'm sure you knew it was like, for the reasons you said, you knew it was a time because wanted to spend that time with your son when he's in those years where he's, very in need of having his father and stuff like that. So you knew it's the right time overall for your life, but at the same time for you personally, like that changes. It's a big, big, big change, from your own sense of purpose, not as a father, but as like maybe as a man or just as a person. So that's like a big adjustment that I don't think people really like understand. Like most people, I think a lot of people don't ever experience that kind of change in their life because, they get out of high school, they go into something, they do that forever. And, it's kind of like they just do that forever. That's kind of the path they take. But military is not forever.
Right.
But when you're in it, you invest everything.
Yeah. I think that's maybe some of the differences. So I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, given profession. Maybe some look at it as it's a stepping stone for my next move. I got a B plan. Like I'm going to start off, and I'm a teacher. I'm going to start off in elementary school, but I really want to be a college professor, right? I'm a doctor. I start off as a nurse, but I really want to be a brain surgeon. Like there's stepping stones, I think. In the military, it really isn't. You're serving and you serve and you serve. Yeah, you pick up rank, and you're in charge to a limited extent until you get more rank, but you're doing what you're doing. And at a high capacity, like we're always on the clock. There is no punching the time clock. There's no, I'm off. Like I get phone calls in the middle of the night because I got a Marine in jail, or he's beating his wife, or you know what I mean? Or I'm dealing with a situation I can't deal with. And I need to go. I need to get up, and I tell my wife that I have to go take care of my Marine for whatever reason. You're never off the clock. And then it's not like you call into work and say, hey, I was up dealing with, Johnny in the middle of the night with a domestic. I'm going to sleep in. No, fuck no. Get the fuck in here. We got ops. Like I need you to decipher this shit
and be on point
and be alert.
Mm-hmm.
Make decisions because you are, Sergeant so-and-so, Gunny so-and-so. There is no time off.
Yeah.
Unless you put in leave and you're granted and you're off. And even then I was getting fucking phone calls on leave. Hey, we didn't know you were on leave. Someone didn't show up for work. Can you figure it out? Yeah. So it's, and there's that. And I see what you're saying, but like for us, and I'm not trying to say us versus them. I'm not. I'm just trying to paint a picture.
No, I think my point is that like with most careers, you get into a career field, whatever it is, and you basically ride that bitch out until you're done working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you finish that, it's sad. I'm finishing my career and whatever I was in, but there's no more, like you're basically getting out to ride off into the sunset, enjoy retirement.
Right.
And keel over.
You're not in your mid 40s.
With the military, exactly. Yeah. Like you do 20 plus years or whatever, and kind of like the military, for the most part, unless you're some sort of, officer really up there, like the military is done with you kind of a thing. I mean, it gets to a point where you're going to be done and you're not done working because you're still young. You're 40, whatever it is, mid 40s. You can't be done working forever. And you certainly didn't make a killing doing what you're doing in the military, right? You don't have a lot of bank. So like there's a career after that comes, and that has to be super overwhelming to go from being in the military for 20 plus years, knowing it in and out and knowing your job and like being on top of it and being like just the tip of the spear, kind of just being awesome. And now you're done. And what's next? Like, what am I going to do next? Because I'm obviously not done. I'm 45 years old or whatever it might be. And I'm obviously not done. I have to do something else to support my family.
Right.
What is that? Like, that's got to be a super overwhelming I mean, I'm just guessing. I haven't been there. You have. It's got to be a super overwhelming feeling of like, what is, and that's why you said the decompression, whatever. Like, I can see like just being overwhelmed with that and taking a lot of time to figure out that next step. Like, you don't just, well, I don't think most people are just rolling right into the next, career and not skipping a beat and everything's great. Like, I could see that as being tough.
Yeah. Or also, no, like the point you just said too, George, was at a young age, how could you be wore out? How could you be, like need some time? You're still young. And I get that today too. When people ask me, hey, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm walking around and I'm like, you look so young and how could you be retired? It's just, words can't describe, it wears you out.
I don't think most jobs, most career fields don't require what being in the military requires. Most career fields don't have a PT test.
But I'm enjoying retirement, and I'm enjoying my time with my family that you get.
Yeah, but you're not really retired though.
No, you're not. You never
you're
really
retired
are.
from the military.
Never really are. And even if you aren't doing anything, and those military types out there know what I'm talking about, you're always in the yellow zone. You're always on alert. You're always watching. You're always, keeping an eye on shit.
Well, that's probably something you go to your grave with, but
exactly,
just instilled.
I feel like people retire and they're like, they don't understand that. Like, I feel like when these guys, retire and even some police I know who've gotten to retirement, who've had, worked in cities or worked in tough areas. Like, you're talking about a career, but you're talking about 3 back-to-back deployments to Iraq. You're talking about deployments to, you were in Africa, you've been to Germany, Japan. You've been from one end of the globe to the other, not all pleasant experiences, So yeah, I mean, beat up. It's like you need some time. I mean, you do, you need some time.
I'm tired, I'm tired, but in the same respect, there's a piece of me that, if I'm called upon it, it's just, and I'm sure we all feel this way. I am ready to rock.
Yeah.
I love my family. I want to be with my family, but if you serve, you kind of feel this sense of service. Yeah. I'm always looking for service. Even the way I treat people, like with, even my barbecue business, at the lowest end of the totem pole, I'm sure, but I'm serving, I talk with people. I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best of me. And just if they got something, need something, I'm there for them,
Yeah.
When you have a job like that, you don't get, I mean, you don't know that this happened. We were at Sweetwater the other day, a guy fell out of a chair and, guy fell out of the chair. He was definitely in distress. Like he had an event. He was like, oh, my blood sugar dropped. I was like, nah, you were kind of the cortigate. You look like you were starting to seize. You were on the ground. That wasn't your blood sugar. He tightened up. You know what I mean? And it's like right away as a nurse, like everybody sees the guy fall off the chair, but I'm looking to see,
the other stuff, other indicators.
Where are his wrists? How are his arms positioned? Is he relaxed? Is he not relaxed? You're just looking at, your training is what your training is, and it will always be.
Right.
So you're going to look at things when you have a job that requires that level of training. You're just going to look at it a little bit differently.
Right.
But how do you feel like, 23 years, 22 years, how did that prepare you to start Fats Barbecue? Like, how did that, like, what did the Marine Corps teach you in life that gave you, the confidence to get out and start a business from nothing?
I think for me, like I said, initially it was a little, the motivation getting off the ground and just taking that leap forward, the risks involved, and I didn't want to take out any loans. I wanted to make sure that I was able to do it on my own,
Yeah.
And that was just that, just self-preservation, just, responsibility. And the Marine Corps, some of that comes from, the Marine Corps is just being responsible for your actions, right? Understanding the risks, being responsible and, drive and, just kind of focus, some of that is kind of what came to the surface. Once I was able to get my plan together, some of that stuff that I learned in the military, having a plan and, categorizing things and weighing risks and options and rewards and things like that, was really kind of helped me get it pinpointed down to where I could manage it.
Mm-hmm.
And once I figured out, hey, this is manageable and I have the budget and I can do all this stuff. At that point, it was just really about, dedicating myself to it, like, hey, if I'm going to take that step, stay on point, stay mission oriented. Those are some of the Marine Corps ways, you just, you stay on mission and you complete the mission. And, it's kind of where I went. It started off very small, at a micro level. I got an opportunity at a paintball park where I was able to kind of just hone my skills and learn the operations and figure out my flows. And then from there, I got another opportunity and, it was kind of more of a grand, scale, more customers,
more foot traffic.
And, it's kind of where we're at now. And, it's just about with barbecue. It's not like you throw something in an oven, throw something on a fryer. Anybody knows barbecue. It's about commitment. It's about time management, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of hours watching meat.
You're such a pervert.
We're way too many bourbons in for you to say meat to Bert and have him not laugh at us.
Not me. Watching meat
cook.
I feel like
watching numbers.
8th grade gym class. You watching my meat.
But but the thing is, it's not so much for me about. What the Marine Corps instilled in me, obviously, is instilled in my business plan. But for me, it was more about making what makes me happy.
Yeah,
it's like for golfers, getting out there on the golf course early in the morning when nobody's around and smacking the ball. Just nobody's out there, no sights, no sounds, just you and nature, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A fisherman, out there standing in a river, fly fishing or on a boat, like it's calming.
Yeah.
I'm sitting out there and I'm watching a fire build. I get to my temperatures and then I throw the meat on the grill and that's all I'm doing. I'm sitting out there, I'm drinking my coffee. It's early. Dark 30 in the morning and it's just me and my grill.
Brings you peace.
It is. I think it's kind of what has helped me with some of whatever is going on with me,
mm-hmm.
With my past and, things going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it brings me peace and I found something that I enjoy doing. And that's what they say. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah. But the reality is you're still really early in your entrepreneurial career, right?
Yes,
You're still learning things. This opportunity at Sweetwater is an amazing opportunity for you, but you're still very young in this journey, right?
Yep, 2 years.
Yeah. And like you've been presented with a great opportunity. So but like what are your overall goals? Like we're not at the finished product of Fats Barbecue or the journey or the story that you're going to tell. Like what is it that you envision, this going to as far as barbecue? Like what are your goals? What are your dreams as far as barbecue is concerned?
Well, to be honest, I've really never thought of it beyond just, something to keep me busy, keep my mind off things, right? Little extra money in my pocket. I really, it's not like that I needed it. It was just, that was kind of what helped me with my step out to do it was if I fail, no big deal, right? If it doesn't work out, no big deal. It's just something I like to do. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. So I really haven't given a lot of thought. I do have some ideas. I've been really giving a lot of thought to where we're going, where Fats Barbecue's going. I only know where I came from and where I'm at now. Right now I'm enjoying the ride. Like I said, coming from a paintball field, where I could expect 20 customers in one day, and then another day could be 75 customers. It wasn't consistent enough for me to build off of. But I wanted something to build off of. So I wanted that foot traffic, and Sweetwater has kind of provided that for me, where it's an every weekend thing, where I know that I can sell 100 plates. Now it's like, okay, now I'm here, the place is, there's no better place. You're on the water, right? The vibe is great. There's a band every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The diversity of people in the crowd is from young to middle-aged to old. You can't beat it. The best customers around. And they come from all over, from New York, North Jersey, Pennsylvania, South Jersey, all over the place. And they're a great customer base. I think it's going to take a minute. I've only been there for about 4 weeks.
So for people who don't know, you were at what we call the Sweetwater Casino.
It used to be the
Sweetwater Marina River Deck.
The Sweetwater Marina with River Deck. That's right.
Correct. On the Mullica River.
It's an amazing spot.
It is.
It's an amazing vibe.
It's truly a gem. It is a gem of the Pine Barrens. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
So
you can't. And it's a different weather pattern. It really is.
Okay.
Well, you spent some time down there. So.
When I'm saying, like, when rain and heat and other elements come into effect, it literally comes right up, from the direction opposite side of the river from us. And then it literally dissipates. And it's like, the weather is so great. There's always a breeze off the river, and especially in this hot weather right now. It's been like in the high 90s, and I'm sitting out there and I'm grilling, and it's hot already by the grill.
Yeah, it is hot by that smoker.
But literally, we're right on the bend of the Mullica coming around, and it sits right there, and the breeze coming off the Mullica, it just cools you right off. And the wind is blowing, and people are sitting out there, and it's just like, it's hot as shit, I'm telling you. But with a couple cold drinks and, the breeze coming off the river, the weather pattern stops on the opposite side, on the Batstow side of the river. It really does. And I was even looking at it the other day. We were supposed to be getting some record heat. And it literally, when I looked on my weather app, the colored map showed it only coming to the edge of the riverbank and going like out east. It never came across the river where we were at.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a beautiful place. It really is. They have a really sweet piece of property out there. Yeah. And they're doing well out there. Mike, the owner, and his wife, Kim, very welcoming. They brought me in. Literally very, very small amount of, conversation about, as soon as I brought up having barbecue out there, they were all on board. Yeah. So really not a lot of conversation about it. And once I brought it up, small amount of conversation, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Got me a shed out there, right there by the shed and the tiki bar outside. It fits all of my equipment in there. My smoker's right out on the back side of it. And I'm out there, every Saturday and Sunday. And, been out, like I said, 4 weeks, and things have been good, been positive. The customers, I got repeat customers already. They're already, a lot of positive reviews, people talking about it. The neighbors, not a lot of places to go for food out there.
There is not.
Middle of nowhere.
There is not
one spot on the road out there. It's got pizza.
Yeah, I saw that.
Other than that,
I don't know about that pizza.
You might have to go to Hamilton.
Well, you Little Egg Harbor City,
Egg Harbor,
or Hamilton.
Yeah, they're all
none of that's super close.
I think they're all like 25 minutes away.
Yeah, to get anything.
Yeah. So in that area, I'm not quite sure what the how many households on that road, but there's quite a few houses on that stretch of road out there between Sweetwater and Chatsworth and Green Bank and all those places.
There's no place to eat out there.
Waterford.
I mean, I got to tell you, I love your brisket. And I mean, to me, I've had some of the best pulled pork in the country, and personally, pulled pork is pulled pork is pulled pork. Like, if you're messing up pulled pork, you should just shut your barbecue joint down.
Right.
Like, people should be able to, you should be able to do that.
You could put pulled pork in a crock pot and be okay.
Right. Like, you could do that.
With some Baby Ray's.
But
don't be hating on Baby Ray's.
I love Baby Ray's.
But brisket is not that way.
Yeah.
And I love your brisket.
I appreciate it.
But not the favorite thing that you make of mine. I'm about the wings.
Oh, stop.
I do. I love the wings because you know what? I don't know. I like the wings in the Alabama sauce.
It's the small things.
It's just like,
the brisket's the best thing you make, bro.
I love my brisket.
I like the brisket. I like the brisket.
That's good. And that's Texas style. That's my, my ode to Aaron Franklin out there who does the SPG. And I'm sure he's got a couple other hidden gems that he puts on his brisket.
I don't think he does.
But
I think his hidden gem is the ratio of salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I don't think there's anything else that goes on.
And there's not really much you need to do with beef. I mean, beef it loves salt. It loves pepper.
It does. But I don't think Aaron's secret is in what goes on the brisket.
I'll have to let you, I might not even be able to let you know, but I'm going to, my plan is to get down there and do one of his personal classes.
One of his personal classes?
Down in his little hacienda.
I think his secret is the smokers he builds.
Yeah, it could be.
Because he builds all of his own smokers. A lot of people don't know that.
And I'm going to tell you, another part of it too is real fire and smoke.
Yes. Which is part of your philosophy is live fire and smoke.
That's right. A lot of people, they smoke on different things between gas and, convection and different, elements of heat. And I think that my personal opinion is that the best things from pizza to barbecue to anything that you cook over a live fire and, wood, you can taste the difference. You really can. There is a difference. Just like there's a difference between different, you go into a different geographical region and the bread tastes a difference. You can taste the difference between pizzas in different areas.
When you go around the world, bread tastes different.
It definitely does.
It's the most bizarre thing.
And it's the small things
that
make a difference, the water in your recipes, the flour, the dough, recipes are it, and fire. And to me, fire and the wood and, live fire and smoke makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
I could taste the difference. I got friends, like I said, pizza, you go to a place that makes the pizzas in a regular oven. And then you got those that make it over, where they put wood and charcoal in their brick
coal fired, maybe.
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
It tastes different, but,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm happy to be there at Sweetwater. Like I said, the vibe is great. They're accommodating and, the diversity of people. This is one of the favorite things that I like to see out there is, the diversity of the different people out there, the boaters. I got to figure out a way to get in touch with the boaters. I got to get meat to the boaters.
Yeah. I feel like you poo-pooed the whole thing of like goals and barbecuing as just something to take your mind off of things, but I don't really believe that. I feel like you have a passion for it. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're always thinking about it. And just from talking to you, I know you're thinking about other ways to get your barbecue to other people. Yeah. Like we've talked about, being on the Mullica River at Sweetwater, it's a great opportunity, but you're already thinking about how to get it out to people out on the water, on their boats and stuff like that. So I think you downplayed that a little bit. I think you're really into it. I think you're really passionate about it. I think your brain's always kind of figuring out what the next step is.
What is the next step?
And again, like obviously you're early in this journey. We didn't bring on somebody that's world renowned for their barbecue. We brought on somebody who's really just like getting into this thing, and then like not that we had access to somebody that's world renowned in barbecue, but you're like,
who knows, maybe
you're
beginning.
You're you're into it, and you like it's really obvious how passionate you are about it. And I think your brisket's amazing. I think it's awesome. I love it. It's definitely worth a little ride out to Sweetwater or wherever you're making it. But no, my point being that I just think you kind of like downplayed that a little bit. I think your passion for this is a lot bigger than just trying to take your mind off of other things. I think you're into it, and I think it's really cool. And I like to watch you and listen to you talk about it, because you're just like, your brain's turning, and you're thinking about ways of like just growing this thing like to like a big proportion, which is what I think people that are successful in things do. I think they're always thinking about how they can be better.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool.
That's part of the passion, right?
I mean, he's spot on. I'm always, but I don't divulge a lot. I'm a little close hold, but I mean, he's right. There's always, any successful business, you're always looking to what is the next step. Right. So, for me, is that being mobile? Am I happy where I'm at and just kind of expand from there virtually? Is it, just kind of stay where I'm at and just try to figure out a way to get on the water? I mean, all those ideas, they're plausible, right? And they're, ideas that I wrestle with all the time. When in business, you have to make right, risk versus reward. You got to make good decisions, right? So, will it make sense for me to get, food on the water? Probably, but
would it make sense for you to be selling your barbecue rubs and Russo's Market down the corner as a start?
Right. And that's partnerships.
Most definitely.
Right. Partnerships. And, I think that might, going back to what has the Marine Corps taught me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being a little reserved, right? Waiting, being patient, right? Executing when I need to execute. And just kind of being patient and letting things happen. And I'm kind of somebody of that thinking, right? Things happen for a reason. Be in the right place at the right time, and just do right by people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hope that good things happen. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in no rush. And so the cards are in my hand. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that's what makes me kind of unique. I don't need to do this, but to your point, Bert, is I like to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm in a position where I can make those decisions and kind of be patient and sit back and not have to rush into decisions.
Absolutely.
Right. But all of those are all, they're ideas. I mean, I want to diversify, right? I'm constantly thinking about my son and where he's going to go. He's got 3 more years before he goes to college, and hopefully play D1 football. My wife, who, she's working at the VA, she wants to retire at some point, so I weigh all those options and how deep and in depth I want to get and do what I need to do. Are we staying in New Jersey? Right.
It's tough to retire here.
I'd like to, I like what Sweetwater has. I'd like to have a spot on the water where people I could entertain, multiple customers, whether there be waterborne or whether they, be foot traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you, owning a place like that, not working at one or doing I think right now Sweetwater is the perfect thing for you and where you're at in this journey. But I personally see like much bigger things, and like owning a spot like that, and whether it's in Jersey or it's down south in the Carolina, wherever, I don't know what it holds for you, but I just see like you being bigger than that, like not working, for a place like Sweetwater, but owning a place like Sweetwater.
Right.
That's just what I see, just knowing you and knowing your passion for it and your work ethic and your drive. But I think right now, like Sweetwater is perfect for you. Like, I think it's a great stepping stone for you, coming from where you're coming, as early as you are in this barbecue journey. Like, let's be honest, you're not that far into it. You know what I mean? Like, and to be putting out the food that you're putting out right now, the quality of the food that you're putting out as early into your barbecue journey as you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed, man. Like, obviously we're friends. We go way back. I'm one of your biggest fans, but I'm also gonna tell you, like, I busted your balls when you burnt the chicken wings at the Halloween thing. Like, I'm like, your wings suck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's where we come from. Exactly that's the relationship we have. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I really legitimately like your brisket and your mac and cheese and your cornbread is banging, like the potatoes, like all the stuff. Legitimately, I'm a fat guy. I'm not gonna tell you if I like your food or not. Like, it's good, man. And I think it's like it's the kind of good that like will reach the masses if like you can get it to the masses, like people like it.
You have to get it to the people.
Yeah, and you're just still going on word of mouth. You know what I mean? Like, we're still in the early phases of this.
The infancy, you know, and that's kind of, you know, with the foot traffic that Sweetwater has, that's in the 5 weeks I've been there. That's been the consensus. I have no negative reviews. I mean, I have the neighbors, you know, in and around Sweetwater that just come there to eat barbecue and then they leave. They don't even hang out. You know, I got repeat customers that come in there and they just hang out at Sweetwater.
Ooh. And what do we have here? Hold on. What do we have here?
What's going on?
We have Mark's like, what's going on? We have barbecue.
Barbecue? Okay.
Oh, I get to eat this?
Well, I think it's
well, some bitch. Yeah.
I brought some samples.
Holy crap.
I brought some samples for
Was
the
this
viewers.
like prearranged? Like, how did this?
Well, I don't let everybody in on all the plans.
This is some bullshit.
Thank you.
Eat it, women. Oh, brisket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Did you bring a fork in?
Somebody.
Where's my camera at?
Yeah.
If I could show this.
Oh, he has. Bert has all the forks.
So somebody.
Yeah, you guys don't get those.
I brought some Fats Barbecue, and I think one of my unemployed employees that I do not have.
Pass it on. Tell a story.
Brought some of my barbecue in. So what I'm holding here, if you could see it here. So this is a plate of my smoked chicken wings, green beans with bacon and coleslaw and everything. Like I said earlier, is all made from scratch and smoked and cooked on on my smoker.
I really wasn't looking to eat another meal today, but holy shnikes.
What do you got over there, Bert? You got my brisket or my pulled pork?
So I've got your brisket, which honestly I haven't even touched yet, but you got your mac and cheese and so what are you calling your potatoes? Because these are your potatoes.
Yeah, so those are my seasoned diced potatoes, and basically it's a garlic butter, SPG, salt, pepper, garlic.
So good.
Diced potatoes.
Mac and cheese is killer, dude.
And mac and cheese is my my blend of some different herbs and spices. Use the cavatappi noodles, which is the spiral with the ribs in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, instead of just using the elbows, I wanted a little bit more meat on the bone.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's a good choice.
A little more forkful. You know, I wrestled around. I think I originally
the camera was able to.
I think I originally started my mac and cheese with penne pasta, and I thought that it was a little bit too much bite, so I switched to the cavatappi.
George has the pulled pork over there.
Pulled pork.
Oh, you got the cornbread?
I got cornbread.
You some bitch.
So this is what, and Bert hit on this before.
Yeah,
is people who don't know barbecue, haven't been to like real barbecue joints.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the barbecue. The sides are a big part of barbecue. Like when you go to get barbecue, the sides are a big part of barbecue. And I would venture to say that I feel like there's definitely a place in Alabama that we go to that's just it's south of Birmingham. Their sides are as good, if not better, than the barbecue.
Right.
You know, because Alabama, I feel like Alabama's a funny spot for barbecue, right? It's they do. Then this place that we go to it's in a residential neighborhood. That's how you know you found a good place.
Yeah,
when it's in a residential neighborhood, and it's they do ribs, they do brisket. All that's okay,
right?
But what they do is they do chicken.
Mm-hmm.
They do half chickens. They do wings. They do drumstick platters.
Right.
And with the Alabama, people don't know Alabama sauce. What is Alabama sauce for people who don't
So
know?
when I make my Alabama sauce, I think I try to stay true to the original recipe. It's, mayonnaise, vinegar with some spices in it. But basically that's the base of the recipe is mayonnaise and vinegar.
Yeah.
And, it's got some salt and pepper in there and all the different juices between, apple juice, lemon juice, I primarily use that for my wings, but you can use that on anything. I mean, people use it for salad dressing. You can use it's so versatile. You can use it on a myriad of different things. It's a really good sauce. It really is a good sauce.
Let's be super transparent here, right? This food here, you made this last weekend for last weekend's.
Yeah. So this was the food that was left over.
This is left over.
Yeah.
From your Saturday, Sunday.
Did not sell. It was so let's set.
Well, I'm not trying to get into that.
I know.
That's not your fault.
Let's set the stage. I mean, it was like 107.
We had
and I had no customers.
Excessive heat warning.
And no customers.
My point being with this is this was made for Saturday and Sunday. Today is Wednesday.
I didn't think about that.
And I just had a piece of the brisket, man.
It's like this
microwave, and I'm not quite sure how you did it.
Microwaved.
Well, I mean, microwave's kind of insulting. I think the brisket tasted. I just had a little bite, and I'm like, "Holy crap!"
I think this cornbread tastes as good as it did on.
It's amazing.
As you guys came.
How is it? How is it still good?
Well, and that's the point. Is you hope that it holds those flavors, right? So,
wow.
I mean,
good.
It did not get sold. So I came home on Monday and I vacuum sealed it in its juices and refrigerated it and kept it held over. And I knew we were doing the podcast, so I
you could ship this across the country like this.
And I know that you knew that. Meal. I know that you knew that, and I knew that we talked about this and stuff. But I'm just kind of amazed at how I had the bite of the brisket, and I'm like, wow. It doesn't taste like
bringing
it's
it live
3-4 days old.
I wanted to make sure you guys could taste it. I wanted to see.
I can't be your friend.
Did it?
I can't be your friend.
I mean, because this is literally this is the first iteration of me holding food over a couple days and presenting it to somebody and having them reheat it in a microwave and seeing what it tasted like.
Well,
so
it's good.
There's that.
I mean,
it's killer.
It's as good as it was. This cornbread is. Try this cornbread.
It's killer. Stop, dude, with the cornbread.
Fork a piece of that cornbread.
Give me that. I'm eating off your fork.
Drunk son of a bitch.
All right. So I got to pass the meat on the bone.
This cornbread is so good.
Let's see if the meat on the bone.
It's
Let me slide this meat on the bone around.
That's impressive for
grab you a wing.
Give me a wing. Yeah, we're doing some food tasting here on the This American Rye podcast today.
I make it so I know what it is all about.
Impressive.
I don't need to taste it. Microwaved smoked wing in Bert's mouth.
Flavor's amazing.
Let's go.
It probably still isn't. Is it falling off the bone?
Kind of.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
That's what you lose, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Once it cools down.
It's really good. Sorry, guys. We're chomping in your ears. But
I'm glad.
They just brought food into here, and I've been drinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's good because you're drunk.
No.
No, I'm glad. Thank you. Tell me. Fats Barbecue is all about constructive criticism. I'm not going to be
really good, man.
I'm never going to be a better pitmaster if you all don't tell me what the hell's wrong.
I'll tell you if your stuff sucks. Yeah. I'm impressed that it's this good.
After.
Right. So imagine, and I had it Saturday, so I know how good it is fresh
off the grill.
I know how good it is, but I'm just trying to give you an idea that.
I mean, we were eating wings off of the smoker.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's off, they were still burning. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. I'm a big fan. I may be biased, but I'm a big fan. I think I know we have people that are local, at least within reason. Get out to Sweetwater while you can, man. Fats Barbecue is going to be out there for a while, right? You're going to be out there till at least the fall.
Yeah. So I think, atmospherics are good. I think the owner and the manager out there are like, that, they want me around. Right. So they want to do, and, talks, or they want to keep me around. Right. So I was there initially to help offset the kitchen. They get
swamped,
extremely busy.
They get way more people on that property.
Yeah.
There to hang out, listen to music and party than their kitchen can handle for sure.
Yeah.
So, aside from me, Tong is his name, the sushi guy out there. He does sushi.
Long Duck Tong.
Yep. Tong. He's, from Burma. I think, when I talked to him, I think he said he's from Burma. Great sushi out there. And then of course me out there with the barbecue. So we're out there primarily to try to help offset that kitchen ebbs and flows so that they're able to keep up with the customer base. I foresee being out there for the rest of the summer. They invited me to stay as long as I wanted. I don't know until we get there if the customer base will be there for me into the fall, into the winter. But I think for the most part, I'll be back there next year to, like I said, hopefully expand and see, maybe we go further and out. Let's see if there was another point.
I feel like you're really at that stage where like word of mouth, and advertising is a big deal, because a lot of people that have come, like I was there Saturday. A lot of the people that come there don't even know you're there. Right. So it's going to take time for people to realize Fats Barbecue is there. They can come there and they don't have to order. They don't have to order from Sweetwater's menu. They can come outside and they can order Fats Barbecue. Right. I think that's going to take time.
And the great thing about that is, you get a table of like maybe 8 people, because you do get groups of people that go there.
Right.
Maybe somebody wants apps from inside, or somebody else wants barbecue, and you can just split up your parties, and
absolutely
people can go order what they want. Somebody wants sushi. I mean, there's
the whole table can order apps from Sweetwater, but you guys can go outside and order brisket from, Fats Barbecue.
Yeah.
I don't think people really know that yet. I don't think that people let it really understand that, other than the people that maybe come there every weekend.
Yeah.
Sure. They'll catch on. But when you're somebody that only comes there once or twice a year,
right.
You roll in there, you come out, you sit down, you get a menu that's for Sweetwater. You don't even realize Fats Barbecue is there.
Right.
And I think that's just going to take time.
Yeah. And it will. And I think, I think the overall picture for me is the fact that very few restaurants, especially like, a Sweetwater that's on the water, offering different cuisines at their establishment.
It's different. It's weird. Right. People aren't used to that.
So people aren't used to it, but I think it's a good thing.
It's a great concept. I think it's great.
Cool.
I think that, other places that you may go along the Eastern Seaboard or along any river, right? I mean, you go there and you're eating their specific niche thing.
Yeah.
I think it was really bold for Sweetwater to kind of say, hey, we want to introduce other small businesses, give them a shot, give them a chance. We've been there, we've done that. And, giving us an opportunity to kind of grow with them. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love the concept. We're different from their menu. And I don't think that we really, detract from their mission. I don't think we detract from I think we if anything, compliment their menu, give them a little something extra to, you may not be a burger or something fried.
Yeah. You make fish tacos or, the kind of seafood thing they have.
Seafood is there and you got barbecue. I mean, it's different from what they are already offering. And I think it's a good business plan, in my opinion.
And let's be honest, some place like Sweetwater, they could do what a lot of restaurants do, and they could offer some pulled pork that they've thrown in the oven, covered, not really smoked, or they can take the road of, hey, instead of us doing something that is going to be good, but why don't we bring in something that is, has the capability to have something we can't do. Right. Like they don't have a smoker. Yeah. They don't have a smoker like you have a smoker.
They can't even make your mac and cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they've, all seriousness, I think they've taken that off their menu.
What's that?
Their mac. They used to, from what I understand, their staff told me they used to have mac and cheese. They don't.
Yeah. I bet it was like lobster mac.
I think they
something.
also used to have pulled pork as well. And that's all. So it helps that, I present that on my menu and bring that.
They're not carrying that overhead.
They're not carrying it anymore. Yeah.
You know,
and I have a good relationship with the chef there. They allow me. I'm using their kitchen.
That's
there.
great.
I have space, storage. Aside from what I have outside, but I think all in all, the relationships, for only being here a short time is been very beneficial. Very accommodating.
That's for our listeners that are anywhere in the vicinity, you're within a couple hour ride on your motorcycle.
Do it. It's definitely a pleasant
just
ride.
Do it. I'm telling you, it's a great vibe. It's a really cool place to hang out there for a while. They have bands, they have music. So it really is like just a fun place to hang out in general. But then to have the barbecue right there when their kitchen quite often is overwhelmed with the amount of people that are there, and the wait times are long, and the barbecue is quick and fast and it's done and ready for you.
Made to order. Yep.
It's amazing, and you can continue to get the drinks from the bar.
I mean, let's be honest. I had a bucket. That was Stacy and I were splitting buckets.
They have some great drinks. It's until you go out there, like I really can't like make you understand how cool it is until you get out there, drive out there, and be sitting on the river there with that freaking breeze coming off the river. Yeah. The vibe. It's a crazy atmosphere because you got a lot of boaters, right? You got a lot of the boaters from the shore and from the river that are docked there because they have a marina. It's docked. Then you got you'll get a lot of bikers coming in. They have bike parking, and then you'll just get a lot of local traffic. Also, like it's just a crazy mix of people, but it really just works and it vibes, and it's a really cool atmosphere. And I think if you get there and you order the barbecue and you don't have to wait that long for the food, and it's as amazing as it is, it's a good time. It's a really good time. It's a good, if you that's your Saturday, that's your Sunday, whatever. Can't really beat it.
It's definitely a good way to spend a South Jersey weekend day, Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man,
they also have games. So they also have cornhole out there.
Yeah.
Games for kids to play. There's chess. They got that human-sized checkers and other games out there.
Top-notch entertainment.
They've done a lot. They've done a lot over the last couple of years since they built the new building and the addition and stuff, and kind of transformed it. They've done a lot to make it really a place to hang out and have fun and play games, and like you said,
and they got the banquet hall. You can reserve the banquet hall if you guys got events coming up or what have you. They got a banquet hall upstairs.
Nice.
So I mean, there's it's got its perks.
Nice.
It has its perks.
So we're wrapping just over 2 hours here.
I got all flushed when you brought in the mac and cheese.
That was it, man. The mac and cheese came in.
All of a sudden, the food
Bert was done
quick.
So
anything you guys left uncovered?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm sure that we can dive a lot deeper to some of the stuff we talked about, but
I mean, we can talk about when you used to wear those leopard print panties for wrestling.
Leopard print.
But
I was hoping we were going to get into a Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue thing.
I knew he was waiting that. I knew he was waiting on that.
Are you going to cut that out?
No,
son of a bitch. I would love.
I like you. I like you, Mark. I like to dream big as well, like you.
I'm a dreamer, dude.
I just got to get the freaking.
Listen, we don't got to get him into anything.
The freaking frugal one over there.
Just sleep on it,
Mr. Rationality over here to get on board.
Never going to be a place like Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue.
It almost sounds like a bike rally.
I mean,
just imagine.
It does have a ring.
It's a beautiful thing.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? We need to do something. Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue. Let us know. Leave some comments. If you're watching on YouTube, Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue.
You can't even say it without smiling now.
Because I know it's
excited.
I know it's going to happen.
So listen, as we wrap this up, though, and I know there are a handful of younger people who listen to this.
Younger people.
There are actually, and for those people who are out of high school, kind of maybe trying to find their way, thinking about joining the military, like what advice, having gone through, essentially a lifetime of a service, like what piece of advice could you give them as they're contemplating that? It's a tough one. I know I'm leaving you with.
Yeah. Well, so I could say it's not a bad decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
No decision is a bad decision. No decision.
We come from Browns Mills. We come from Browns Mills.
Having no decision.
You do crack? No, it's not
no decision and no plan is a bad decision.
Yeah.
Right. So I was there. I've been there. I had no direction, no mentorship. I mean, in coming from the same place, you all know the coaching. Yeah. I mean, who did you look forward to give you any advice? You know, it just
Mitch Lucas.
Yeah, Mitch was a good dude. God bless him. Mitch was a good dude. But just there.
That's about it. Coming at as a high school kid,
there wasn't a lot of direction.
Yeah,
someone pull you aside and say, you know, hey, I see something in you. This is where you need to go, what you need to do. Right. I would say not knowing who you are out there. If you don't have direction and you do not have a plan, there's nothing wrong with sacrificing 4 years at a minimum of your life to find some. Really, there's not.
Yeah.
If you think you're a college person, right? Leaving high school and going into a college program without a full ride scholarship could leave you in some certain debt.
Yeah.
Correct? Right. If you go to the military and sign on the dotted line, you owe nobody nothing other than 4 years of your life, which you're giving to any institution in the first place.
Right.
If you choose to decide to go to college or the military.
Yep.
If you choose to do nothing, you owe nobody nothing, but you go nowhere.
Right.
So with that, if those two things being on the pendulum, right? 4 years of school and coming out 4 years and owing somebody hundreds of thousands of dollars of tuition and trying to find a job to pay that tuition back. Or what I say is go to the military and, you know, let the military pay for it.
Yeah.
They'll give you free money to take whatever classes you want to take, whatever you want to do. Yeah. The caveat that what the college doesn't give you that the military does is OJT, on the job training. So say you go to the military and say you want to be a vet tech or a nurse or whatever field you choose to go into. Not only are you doing the job as an apprentice for 4 years, and you also choose to do college at the same time and the military pays for it, you have two things. You have OJT and you also have a college degree at the 4 years, at the end of your 4 years of the military service. In college, all you have is a degree.
And debt.
Yeah.
So what would you rather have? Yeah. And then the other thing too is that with the military side, you're more marketable than you are coming out of college.
Yeah. I think 100% you are. Yeah.
In my opinion, to me, to set you up for success is give 4 years of your life to service. Yeah. Right. You're going to give your 4 years up to somebody. I mean, think about it. You're going to give 4 years up. So would you rather give up 4 years and or would you rather give up 4 years and be successful and move forward in your life? And you may, and out of high school, did we really know what we wanted to do?
No idea.
No. So 9 times out of 10, when you end up going out of high school to college, you're studying something you never even wanted to pursue in the first place.
I still don't know what I want to do.
But you had to choose something because you were forced to choose.
You're forced, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, you need to kind of figure out who you are. And I would say to some of the young people, and I tell my son the same thing. He's going into his sophomore year. Dude, when you're alone in your room, pause for a minute on your video games and your FaceTime with your friends and whatever it is you're doing in your room and figure out who you are. Like, who are you? What makes you tick? You know, who you are as a person, not who you are, like what you're doing in high school athletics, right? What mom and dad want you to be. But when you are alone in your head, who are you? My son, Gabriel, who are you, Gabe? what makes you tick,
Mm-hmm.
right? And start to figure out what is that plan before it's too late. Now, if you are a senior in high school and you're like, oh shit, I haven't done that, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the escape plan is what I did. I went to the military, figured out who the fuck I was. Because the military very quickly is going to give you a lot of discipline, leadership, a lot of them, characters and personality traits that we lost as a society, in my opinion. They're going to reinstill those into you because they're going to give you a lot of responsibility and a lot of time in a very short time. You know? And you're going to figure out very quickly who you are as a person. Yep. Can you handle it or can you not? Are you going to break? You're going to fold? Or are you going to step up to the challenge? Right?
Yeah.
So if you do not know who you are and what you want to do, college and studying something that you do not know nothing about is not the plan.
Yeah.
Partying
at an extreme cost.
Debt. I like to party. I do. I like girls. The girls out there like boys. I get it. You want to have a good time. But I'm going to tell you, 4 years in high school doing that, another 4 years in college doing that, that's 8 years wasted. After that, there's no more umbrella. There's no more float, no more raft.
Some people don't even get that long of an umbrella.
Nope.
What I'm saying, there's no safety net.
Yeah.
Right? Now you are, to society, you're a grown up. You need to fucking do something. You need to bring money to the table.
Yeah.
Right? Pay taxes, pay bills.
The reality is, even if you join out of high school and you do your 4 years and you maybe don't think it's for you and you don't really like it and you get out, like, what's the worst that happened? You got a lot of good experiences. You've got a lot of good education in leadership, like you said.
Yeah.
And you served your country for 4 years.
Right.
And you're not in debt. Like, you're not coming out of it in debt like you do after 4 years of college.
And zero debt.
And you probably have just as good a chance of getting a job coming out of that as you do coming out of college.
Right. The military, after your 4 years, you've paid you've done your due. That's it. Whatever you've done in your 4 years is what you do.
There's something to be said.
You can do 4 years and not do nothing, just serve.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can boot camp, you get into your organization, your company, your unit, and you start college right away.
Yeah.
And you knock out your 4 years before you get out. You got OJT, you got 4 years of college, you owe no debt to nobody. You got OJT. And then when you're ready to get out in 4 years or 5 years, you're ready to hit the job market.
There's so much to be said for.
Dude, I mean, it's
for that
me,
route.
it's like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Or $100,000 or $200,000 to your said college while you're trying to work it off. You're going to try to apply for a job that you're not going to be qualified for, period. So you're going to make minimum wage and do the math. What's the percentage on yearly wage to pay that $200,000 back if that's what your debt is?
Coming out of some of the top tier colleges. I mean, unless you're going Ivy League, coming out of some of the top tier, colleges right now, you're looking at like a $75,000 salary, which saddled with $100K worth of loans, having to live on your own or having to do something else.
Put yourself through that?
Isn't a lot. Yeah.
Why, as a young person, put that stress on yourself as a young person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
As an older person, I have so many friends that came out of high school, got in the military, did 20 years, got out, got jobs. And the people that I know got jobs, connected to the military, but as civilians, man, they're just doing good. They're just doing really, really good in life. Yeah. They get out, they did their 20 years of service, they got a military pension, they got another full-time job that pays really well because it's based off the experiences and the things that they learned in the military. So they got those jobs because of that. They're making another job. They got another job that's paying great, and they're doing that while collecting their military pension. Like, they're in really good spots. I was always jealous of them. I worked with them and I'm like, man, I wish I was that dude. Like,
well, let's put it in perspective, right? So here I am. I'm going to be 50 in December.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're old.
I left straight out of high school, graduated senior, 94. Yeah, there was some breaks in my service. but I finished my time, right? I don't owe anybody anything. I have no debt. I'm married with a 15-year-old child, and I live in a $450,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
My wife works at the VA making, I don't know, $50,000-$60,000 a year. And I'm retired, collecting my pension.
Mm-hmm.
And we pay our up, we're able to live in a $400,000 house. And to be honest with you, I don't even need the barbecue business.
Yeah.
So if that helps, right? Like I don't need to do anything.
Right.
I could just sit at home and play with my dog, Joe, and, make sure my kid gets to his trainings and practices every day during the week. I don't need to do nothing.
Yeah.
You do though.
But I do.
You do.
But I do.
You don't need to.
But I would not
for the
stress.
books.
Yeah, for the books.
Mentally you do, but
Yeah.
for the books you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that for your viewers out there, for them young folk out there, like if, like, do you want to, I'm not stressing.
Yeah.
I could have retired. Like had I not got out in 99 and stayed in, I'd have been retired at, 43 years old.
Yeah.
And would have been in the same position instead of being at 48 when I got out. You know what I'm saying? 48. So, like, don't put yourself through don't put yourself at risk like that. I mean, $100,000, $200,000 in debt as a young person.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of those people to get out and still not know what they're going to do.
No, and a lot of people don't. Like when they get out of college, they still don't.
A lot of those degrees aren't worth much, and they're still $100,000 in debt.
Without on the job training, they're not worth nothing, and it's a bad picture that the society is painting for you.
My degree hasn't been applicable to what I've been doing for 20 years. I mean, I haven't been a nurse
just do the research.
23 years. Yeah.
Don't take my advice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do the research. You know what I mean? Like, who am I? Go do the research. How many people go to college and, come out and get the job that they want?
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of businesses out there that really, really, really value that military service experience.
Right. But I could tell you,
and you can end up in a great spot.
Listen,
with that experience.
I had a comparative company, man. Every guy they hired was a West Point grad. It was like every time, and you could see these guys walk through the door like, here comes another West Point grad. Here comes another. It was like whatever manager,
in the medical industry,
whatever in medical sales, whatever manager they had there, they hired like 4 or 5 West Point grads, and it was just like they would walk in, and it was like a unit when they walked in, and they were all business, and they were military, and they were all West Point officers, and
that's the other point too. Is when you walk into a job interview too, without even being in debt and having 4 years of military and a degree, you bring so much more to the table than your peer who just went to college.
Yeah, you do.
Leadership, right? Presence, being able to formulate plans and lead teams. And, like there's so much more you bring to the table to a company, a CEO, or organization. Like you're remiss if you think that just, I'm gonna stick it out, just go to college.
The skills you learn from 4 years of being in the military to 4 years of college. I can't even imagine. As someone that didn't go in the military,
you grow up.
I mean,
I'm telling you grow up.
It's forced on you.
Mm-hmm.
You're forced to learn these things in a much different way than you're first forced to learn, the books that you're being taught in college. Like it's very different, and you learn more in a short period of time. I think a lot faster. It's pretty wild.
It is.
It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool, and it makes a lot of sense to see so many former military folk like doing great things out there.
Mm-hmm.
In the field where we're in social media and stuff, and YouTube and podcasting and stuff, and seeing, and a lot of the folks that we see are special forces guys and stuff, but they're still using that stuff that they learned.
You will apply it the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's wild, and
not only that,
and it makes sense.
The relationships, the networking, like there's so much more that I'm not even hitting on that you get out of just military service. That you won't. Yeah, you'll have your frats and your sororities and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, it's got to be tighter, just because of the stuff that we spoke earlier on about being in the trenches and, going through those adversities with people, making decisions and planning. And, like there's so many things that I just, on the spot, I just can't think of at the moment. But, your network is going to be so broad. And not only just from the people that you knew in the military, but people that you didn't know that were in the military.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's still a connection.
Like, you don't understand, like, people that walk up to my barbecue spot that were in the military and see my Marine Corps flag flying outside of my shack and just buy shit, walk up to me and say, I only came up here because you were a Marine. I served. Yeah. And I hope your stuff's good. And it was. I mean, they enjoyed it, but they just gave me a chance because they saw my flag.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I just wanted to share. And it was a guy pulling his boat. First time in Sweetwater Marina, up from upstate, I think New York, whatever, was down with his boat, and he was a Marine Corps vet, had his own construction business, and was pulling his boat in. And I saw his EGA on the side of his truck, on his logo, and said, "Hey, I'm a Marine too." He stopped what he was doing, wife, kids, everybody, 100 degrees outside, putting his boat in the water, stopped his family, and said, "Everybody, time to fuck out." Walked over, got barbecue from me because I was a Marine.
That's cool.
That's what it's about.
That's that shit.
That's what it's
about.
You know
what I mean? Like, you don't see that in companies, and, just stop with, your family. You're going to stop your family, dude? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I think that's an awesome opportunity that place gives you. And I'm happy that you have that right now as you progress in your barbecue journey.
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah.
Tell us a story.
I mean, it's honor to have you. Thank you for your,
if we could do this around a fire pit, man.
Oh yeah.
It'd be interesting.
While I'm smoking.
I hope we did the best we could presenting this to you in a formal podcast environment.
I think
obviously we go way back, and we could hang out and shoot this shit and talk about this stuff all night long with some 1990s country music and some bourbon at around a fire pit. But I'm glad we could have you on to talk about it and just to kind of highlight you, because I really think what you're doing is really cool. And I'm super proud of you for just, not only for your service, because I've always been proud of you for that, but for what you're doing after the fact, and now like really pursuing your dreams and your goals and a passion that you have. So I think if, more people pursue their passion instead of worried about, paying the bills and following, what society says you should do, right, we'd all be better off. But definitely proud of you for doing it, man. Yeah. I love you.
I love you guys.
This is really cool. It's really fun to have you on and talk about some stuff. Some of the stuff we talked about, I didn't even, you and I have never talked about.
Right.
So pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a special edition where we'll bring the queue out on the off season. If you want, it's up to you.
Hey, listen, we can always have you back on as a return guest.
Let the viewers see the queue.
Absolutely. We can have some fun with it, man.
The big 250-gallon smoker.
What do you got? You're quiet over there.
No, man, that's it. That's just I had a bottle of Redemption bourbon, and now I got a quarter bottle of Redemption bourbon. It cost me like $40 an episode.
All right. You guys enjoy the barbecue.
Thank you, sir. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
I hate you and your barbecue, because I'm trying to lose weight, and your barbecue is not helping, bro. Not helping. Mac and cheese is great.
I think I brought a small dish.
You make the mac and cheese, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
from
it's
scratch.
So good.
Everything is from scratch.
I'm a big mac and cheese fan. It's really good.
Yep. Everything is, like I said, made on the smoker except for the coleslaw.
Wow. Well, I know the coleslaw is not the best coleslaw, but
we gave that title to your wife.
But I'm biased.
Yeah, no.
I'm biased.
I will never take that title.
No, it's amazing, dude. It really is. I mean, I could sit here and friggin'.
Yep. I know you could.
Gloat on his barbecue all night long. But seriously, if you guys are, if you're listening from Nebraska, obviously you're not going to try
Come on down.
Pat's Barbecue.
If
Maybe
you
at
come
some point
from
you'll be able to order
Nebraska,
online.
I have 2 bedrooms. I will hold you up at the house.
You're going to have 40 people lined up.
No, I have 2 bedrooms, not 40. I have 2 bedrooms. If you come from Nebraska, I'll talk my wife into letting you.
If you're a Marine, you got a spot to stay. If you're not, well.
If you're a Marine, you come here all day long. Or Navy.
Good stuff, dude. Well, again, awesome stuff. I'm proud of you. We'll have you. We'll have you back on again. We'll do this again soon and see how far you progress. Because I know you're gonna. I know you're gonna do great things with this. I know your passion is there. Your drive is obviously there. The military service. Thank you so much. All of us owe you a debt of gratitude for that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that you got what you got going on, dude. And I'm gonna let George take us away because I'll just keep on.
Burgers and barbecue.
And George is sitting there just looking at me because he knows I'll just keep going and going and going.
Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue vote.
I got him.
There you go, Baggers, Brews, and Barbecue.
I got him rambling. I got you trying to give him the subliminal messages. Listen, if you've listened this far, thank you again, Mark. Thank you for everything you've done for our country.
No, my pleasure.
And thank you for providing us with some damn good barbecue.
No, I appreciate it.
And
I hope your listeners enjoy the content.
And I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yeah, please do.
Because we've got some stuff to go into that I hadn't even considered until I'm sitting here listening to. So we'll do that. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave us a comment or leave us a rating. Remember, 5 stars on Apple is the best stars, and leave us a nice little comment. We appreciate it. Thank you to Legendary USA for sponsoring this podcast. And in the link below, we do have some limited merchandise available in the This American Ride store, which will be also linked below. And that's about it. So
if your cornbread don't have corn in it, it ain't cornbread. George told me that this week. What's up?
And if your barbecue can't stand alone, it ain't no barbecue.
Don't need to sauce that.
There you go.
And I'm at Fats Barbecue on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where else?
My Facebook page is still under construction.
Okay.
It'll be on Facebook.
But Fats Barbecue on Instagram. Check him out. Give him a follow, and you'll know what he's got going on. And you can also follow Sweetwater Marina and River Deck, which is where he has his place. And definitely follow Baggers and Brews and This American Ride.
This American Ride
on Instagram.
Follow
them all.
Baggers, Brews,
and if you're following This American Ride or Baggers and Brews, you'll see us sharing some Fats Barbecue stuff.
Always.
Love you guys.
So,
all right. Till the next one, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Later.